Welcome to the 2017 Film Markets Joint here to our Tennis Club. I can see you here again. And we have our sponsor here, Rory Gillen, who's simply in charge of a red tie, a Donald Trump tie. Anything in that? Okay, so we've got, first of all, we've got the ladies line. And the ladies line would be contested two girls who are very close in the world rankings, one from Belgium and one from the UK. So the first person I'm going to introduce you is Leila. Leila is 21 years of age. She's ranked 34, 36 in the world. She was world number 34. She actually met, she's one of her is Paul Tall, who's really quite a noise over the last year, has risen up dramatically through the rankings into the top 15 now. And interestingly, she actually met Paul here 2 years ago. So that's the fact that I like. She's from Belgium. She's the number 2 seed. And please welcome M.Tomlinson V N.Gilis. The girls who played 3 times before, they scored 2-1 to Millie, and the last time they played was actually about October, November last year, which Millie won. So her opponent, now Millie's opponent today is Millie Tomlinson. Millie won this tournament last year. She's got 12 tournament titles, and she's now ranked 36 in the world. Correct? Yeah, 32 which I like the other. She went to Yale where she studied political science, and she won a comment afterwards on the Trump election, and she won a comment on Brexit, she said, and she won a comment on the 2 days elections in the UK. Okay, so she's very good, she's going to go for reason. I don't know how who's supporting very work here today. So could you please welcome the number 1 seed, the defending champion, M.Tomlinson.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gillen Markets Ladies Squash Open, Irish Open 2017. This is a match between world number 32, Millie Tomlinson from England, and world number 36, M.Tomlinson from Belgium. I'm joined in the commentary box by Irish senior coach Ed Dunn. Afternoon, Ed.
Afternoon, Jim.
This promises to be a close one. I mean, we're talking about 2 girls who are very close in the world rankings. Obviously, both in superb physical condition, and we could be in for a cracker.
Yeah, we have Millie at world ranking 32 and Nelly world ranking 36. So
I just said that, Ed.
So this should be close, yeah.
Absolutely. And I believe you're just back from from Lisbon with the Irish under-19. So how did that go?
Yeah, it went very well. Jim, the team finished 10th, which probably was a fair result given that we lost to Israel on the last day. Very tight match. We beat Sweden, who finished 11th in the semi-final of the plate. The guys played very well. The team was Luke Logan, Aidan O'Brien, Todd Gowdy, and then the two girls, we had Hannah Craig and Ellie McVeigh. We had a very close game in the pool stage with Germany. And had we won that match, arguably we could have finished as high as 6th, given that's where Germany finished. But yeah, it was a great event. They all played very well. Very high standards of play, under 19 level. You know, these guys we'll be seeing on the world stage soon. And we're travelling next week with the seniors on Tuesday to Helsinki, where we have Michael Craig coming back from the States to play on the Irish team. He's coming in the sub position. Sean Conroy got injured, tore a hamstring at the West of Ireland just over a week ago. So Michael's subbing in, and we're looking forward to seeing him play. We haven't seen Michael play in about 12 months. So we've high hopes. We're in the second division. We're ranked 2. We're in the group with Norway and Hungary. So we will be looking to get promotion again to Division 1 in Helsinki.
Thanks, Ed. One of the things that comes up in terms of squash tournaments, I guess, and perhaps is an important factor, is time on court. In other words, how your matches have gone so far, and in that regard, we have a total contrast here. Millie has won all of her matches in the tournament so far. In the first round, she actually beat Nele's sister, whereas Nele herself, has had a much tougher passage to the final. She's had, 2 5-setters. Her first match was a 3-1 win, so she certainly has spent a lot more time on court. Do you think that'll have a bearing on the match, Ed?
Yeah, but the players will be well conditioned for tournaments like this. Sometimes it can work out. Actually, having a few tough games can work out better because the players really get a feel for the court, get a feel for the crowd, the atmosphere. So it can be a factor. However, a lot of players do like to have a few tough games on the way. Obviously not too tough, so they're not going to be tired playing. But it's no harm to have a couple of battles on the way. Whereas if you've got a couple of easy matches or 3 loves, sometimes that sort of hard match, doesn't really help when you're playing the final. So again, it'll be interesting to see what happens. The players will be conditioned. Fatigue, hopefully won't be an issue. So it's really sort of sharpness that will come into play. Sometimes, like I said, when they haven't had tough games, they may not be as sharp. Having said that, they'll probably spend a bit more time practicing in between matches to compensate. But we'll see in time.
We should probably say a shout out to all of our viewers from Belgium, maybe friends and family of Nelis, and also viewers from England who are supporting Millie. So hello to you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask everybody to get their mobile phones turned off or switched to silent. Thank you. This is the Gillen Market sponsored Irish Squash Days Open. Maybe Johnson will use to serve, and Gillis from that will receive. Ladies, no.
Do you expect a bit of, I suppose, what would you call it, feeling each other out in terms of the first few rallies? How do you think that will play out?
But the players have played, I think, 3 times, is that what Damien said, recently, so they'll know each other's game. They would have watched each other during the week, but there's no doubt they'll be testing each other around different parts of the court to start off. But they will have an idea of each other's games, so the game plan will be set. But obviously, these girls will be flexible and be able to adapt to whatever is happening on the day. So it's interesting to see how it develops.
Yes, left, 2 love. And out, 1-2. Correction, 3 love.
Joe Ruddy keeping Brian Williams on his toe there, on his toes even, correcting the score. Somewhat of a nervous start from the Belgian girl, Ed, I think.
Millie certainly stepping up the court, taking the ball early and attacking from the word go. Again, just see how this pans out over time. Lucky shot there as well.
5 love. And out, 1-5.
Really good finish there from the Belgian girl, Nele. And during that rally, we saw a great example of the use of the full height of the front wall.
Thank you. And out, 6-2.
So this is the point of the match where I ask you for your score prediction.
It's early days yet, Jim. What we've seen so far is that Millie certainly has been more aggressive. She's been taking control of the tee.
7-2.
A few mistakes from Nell. 7-2, it's hard to argue against that. Possibly a nervous start. Possibly more aggression from the English girl so far. More dominance up the tee. A2 in the first game, strong start.
Early on in the match, Ed, we're seeing that great 2-wall composed again from the girls, and they're able to take advantage of the lower tin. which you know, in Fitzwilliam we have the advantage being able to lower the tin here. I think the girls, some of the tournaments they play, they actually play with the 19-inch tin because the court doesn't have the facility to do otherwise. So that 2-wall boast is one of those shots that if you can play it well with a 17-inch tin, then you're going to have your opponent in all kinds of trouble.
Certainly drags them up to the front of the court, and when played low like that, limits the options that they have. So a lot of the players will, you know, push the ball up there and look to attack off what they get back. And drifting the ball in like that does take its toll after time.
10-2, right off. Great ball.
11-2 in the first game, very one-sided. English girl very much dominating the tee, playing much better length and really in control. Possibly nerves. I would doubt it, to be honest. These girls should be very experienced, but we'll know more in a few minutes.
So Nele Gillis's partner is Paul Coll, who's the top 30 in the world, New Zealander, probably watching this. And sometimes at these tournaments said, you know, the coaches watch on the web or they watch on the internet, and then the players actually call them between games and get advice remotely, if you like. So that's something that is that may happen during this match. Certainly, I think that the Belgian girl, that was a very nervous start from her, and hopefully, you know, she can settle down now and start to do herself justice.
Yeah, I think what she needs is maybe a couple of long rallies. A lot of those rallies are quite short. She needs to get stuck in, get her opponent off, get in front, get her confidence going as well with a couple of short balls at the front that can get a rhythm going. You know, and if she can start off this game and stay with her at the start with a couple of tough rallies, play herself into it, maybe the nerves will go, and like I said, get confident at the front of the court. Then yeah, we could be in for a tight game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, you alluded to earlier, Ed, I mean, it is somewhat unusual to see players, you know, at this level have a nervous start. If that's what it was, of course we don't know, we're just speculating. But these players have pedigree. You know, Nele has won the German Junior Open under 19. She won the European Junior under 19 championships. She's young, she's 21. And of course, this is all part of the learning experience. So, as we said, hopefully she'll settle down now. Maybe try and extend the rallies and get back into this match. One all the score in this game, and 1 all on lucky bounces as well, Ed.
Straight away, we're seeing a much faster pace here from Nell. If it was nerves the first game, they seem to have gone now. She's obviously decided to really attack this. Much faster game. She's standing up the court. She's attacking a lot more, even from the back. So let's see how this develops. Again, much better length so far in this game than it was in the last game. played a great backhand drive down the court, setting herself up for the volley and taking it. Like I said, she's obviously had to attack a lot more. If she gets her confidence going, she'll be in for a very exciting game here. Yeah, certainly a different girl in this game. Already doubling her total from the first game. You can even tell by the way Nell's walking around the court in between points. That does a lot of confidence now.
As you say, Ed, it's like there's a totally different player out there now. I mean, she's playing superbly. Her length has improved. She's up the pace. And when she gets the opportunity, she's putting the ball away. And that's all you need to do, really.
It's as easy as that.
So you were talking about, the Irish juniors earlier on, Ed, and it's something that, in every sport you're going to have the progression from being a good junior and perhaps a very good junior into the senior ranks. And, it doesn't always work out. Some players are very good juniors and they never really make it in the senior ranks. In terms of the ladies' game as opposed to the men's game, and is that something that, do you think it's more difficult to progress from junior to senior level in the ladies' game or the men's game, or is there any difference?
We have two excellent juniors, in particular at the moment in the ladies' game. We have Sophia Rourke and Hannah Craig. Sophia, I think, is 16 years of age. Hannah is 18. Hannah represent Ireland next week in Helsinki as number 1 on the senior team. She played on the under-19s last week in Lisbon. Sophie will be number 2. Those two girls in particular are very. I would use the term aggressive, but in a very positive way. They will fight for every point. It will be interesting to see how they get on a senior level. Hannah missing off to the States next year. I think she's had a scholarship to Harvard. Sophie will be around. She was in transition year this year. So it'll be interesting to see. Sophie will probably have to travel to the UK, a bit more around Europe, to get the games that she's going to be looking for. But certainly will be interesting to see where the two girls do progress. In terms of developing onto the senior tour, the girls versus the men, it's hard to tell. Madeleine Perry obviously was very successful at Irish level, at senior level and at junior level. Ashton Blake, who's also retired, was very successful at the senior level and the junior level. A lot of the players in Europe know each other now because the European Tour junior level is attended by a lot of the Irish players. This wasn't something that happened 10 years ago. So the players know each other, so they're less surprises when they come to the bigger events at senior level.
Right box.
Millie has steadied the ship here, Ed. I mean, she's clawed her way back into this one. Nelly had a significant lead, and now we're back to 2 points. So this is going to be a test of maturity as much as anything else from the younger girl. She'll be a little bit disappointed with that, Ed. I mean, I think she should possibly have hit that before without allowing it to go to the back of the court. Of course, hindsight is always 20/20, particularly when you're sitting in the commentary box.
We're in the way. Left box, 7-8.
All the balls were good there, Ed.
Yeah, sometimes when they hit the ball very hard like that, the ball can appear to hit the top of the tin because they can put a bit of topspin on it. Very hard to tell. Generally, you have to go by the sound, but with the players putting different types of spin on the ball, it reacts to the ball in different ways, and it can be quite hard to tell.
And for the viewers, we have reminded them over the weekend on a few occasions that over the top of the tin here, there's the plaster there. If you hit the ball just over the tin, it does make a funny sound. And you know, there have been a couple of occasions this weekend where balls have been rolled down that were in fact up. But I think the referees are now aware, you know, of that strip of plaster just above the tin. So hopefully we won't have.
You must break the service tempo, please. Taking too long, she's not pushing.
Yeah, there was a fault on the serve, yeah. Yeah, so Joe Ruddy warning M.Gillis there not to take too long between points. And I don't know whether that distracted Millie Tomlinson, but she served a fault, and you don't see that too often in the pro game, Ed.
Very rare. I think back to when I was junior, there used to be two serves in squash, and I don't think the two serves are ever used, but yeah, it's very rare you'll see a fault like that. Sometimes you might catch a player going for a lob serve to the backhand, they might touch off the red line, but certainly the front wall is very rare.
Well, I mean, really, perhaps Paul Call was on the blower, because that was, I mean, that was just a total transformation for the Belgian girl. I mean, she hit some fantastic backhand drives. She can really crack it down that backhand side, Ed.
She gave away the first point with a stroke and proceeded to win the next 7 in a row to go 7-1 up. an English girl came back. So it was almost like having two games in the one there. But what we did see in that game, what we didn't see in the first game, was more attacking length from the back of the court. You could see when she moved up to the tin, she was on her toes, really looking to hunt down a loose ball, and which she did a lot of. I felt a couple of boasts, and after that were a little bit high, sitting up a little bit. She was no longer hitting the 2-0 boast we spoke about it a minute ago, which let the English girl get back in. So almost two games within the one there.
Doing the commentary. I'm Jim. It's just Irish squash streams. You can watch it on the web if you want.
Games are 1-all. Gilis to start the ball. 5 points. And 1-love.
There's a super backhand drive from Millie. Brings her to 2-love in the third game. So beside us in the commentary box here, Eamon Ryan, TD for the Green Party, has just sat down beside us. Eamon, are you a squash fan, squash player? What brings you here today?
I used to play a lot of squash, and in my second youth, I'm going to get back to it again. And I was just, it was just someone invited me, and I was thrilled to see just high quality sport in Dublin on a Saturday afternoon.
Great to have you here, Eamon. Ed might give you a lesson later on. Will you give Eamon a free lesson, Ed?
Oh, well, of course.
I'd say it would be a lesson.
3-0.
By the way, folks, that was not Ed Dunn doing an impression of Eamon Ryan. That actually was Eamon Ryan. two wall boasts there from Nelly.
And that's 1-3.
As these rallies progress, we saw in that rally there, both girls were in control of the rally at different stages. Nell is quite strong on the front backhand corner, but again, you know, as the rally progresses, the legs get tired. That two wall boast kicking at the end really does hurt. Again, there's that post setting up for the drop shot. Great shot.
And that's 4-1.
So Ed, we're back in a situation here where Millie has a very healthy lead in the third. I mean, in your view, what has changed from the last game? Is it that Millie has settled down, or has perhaps Nelly just dropped the pace a little bit?
Nelly has made a couple of errors. She's been in control of a couple of rallies and failed to finish them off. Obviously, the retrieving from Millie has been excellent, and she's managed to come back in rallies and win the point. Again, it's two mistakes in a row. You know, at this level, she's gone from 4-1 to 6-1. Not returning the serve twice. It's just unforgivable.
That was a much better rally from Nelly there. I mean, she got her length back. She used some pace on the backhand side. And having said that, that's a loose serve. And if you serve that loosely, you're probably going to be in trouble from the beginning of the rally. That's 4 or 5 unforced errors in this game, Ed. I mean, really, Millie Tomlinson, she doesn't need that kind of encouragement, really. You know, so you keep doing that, you're facing an uphill battle. So, be nice to see Nelly sit down again and extend the rallies. That was much better.
Yeah, she's very strong in that front backhand corner. A lot of her have come from there, be the volley or the drop shot. She just needs to keep that going. Again, give herself the opportunity to go for the shots by putting the tight length. As we saw in the second game at the start, when she put a lot of pace on the ball, she was forcing the loose ball from her opponent, which gave her the opportunities to start pushing the ball to the front of the court. With a half course like that, just don't do her any favours.
And now 9-4.
9-4, the English girl can take a few chances as well. She's got quite a big lead there, quite a cushion, you know, so she can afford to go for that sort of thing. Whereas Nell really isn't in a position to do that now at this stage of the game. Again, we see that backhand volley. She really is very strong in that front backhand corner.
And that 5-8. 9.
Well spotted, Ed. 5-9. I mean, Nele, she definitely has she has all the shots. Her technique on all the shots is very, very good. As you say, she's probably a little bit stronger on the backhand side, but there's another example of a fantastic two-wall post. So, you know, I think in a lot of cases it's just a matter of putting it all together. And when she does that, you know, she wins, invariably wins the points.
Next, 6-9.
Of course, Millie's 4 years older, so you know she's been here before. She in these situations lots of times. Yeah, well, that's a great finish from Millie.
And that's 10-6 game ball. And out 7-10 game ball.
Ed, I asked a question yesterday of Dara Flynn. I'm going to ask you the same question. I mean, if you were advising juniors who had come to watch this match, is there anything that you would say to them? Look, you know, look at these girls. Is there something in particular that they do that you would say to juniors to watch out for?
Yeah, I would certainly look at how these girls are moving around the court, the position they put themselves in there. I find, you know, one of the big changes from junior to senior level, or from, shall we say, club level to higher level squash, is that a lot of players look to win rallies with a single shot. They sort of feel after 4 or 5 shots, it's about time the rally was over, and they rush looking for the winner. It may not be on, you know, whereas a lot of these girls, a lot of the top players are quite happy to sit back, control the rallies, and again, if they're in control, you know, why do they want the rally to finish? Keep working the opponent, especially in the early stages of the match. It's money in the bank for later on. So, you know, looking to dominate your opponent, looking to get in front, and if your opponent's doing more work, well, you know, why are you looking to finish the rally early? So, you know, looking for winners that aren't on in a rush to finish the rally when there's no reason to. If you watch these girls play, they've got a game plan. They're playing the length, they're pushing up. If it doesn't work the first time, they look to work the second time. And a lot of the time, they don't really go for the winner unless it's on. Or if they are going for a short to move the person, it's very much measured. They understand their own strengths, their opponent's weaknesses, and that's what they do, pushing their opponent around the court, looking for the gaps and exposing them.
Sounds simple. Ultimately, squash is a game about opening up the space, getting your opponent out of position, manoeuvring them out of position, and then you hit the ball into the open space. And you know, you a lot of points in squash matches are won that way. You get to the pro level, and a lot of times they'll hit the ball into the nick. That's not something that you perhaps see. Even the good club players, they can't do it with same regularity. So for the pro players, they have that option of course, they're always trying to move their opponent out of position. They're always looking for the loose ball. And I guess with the pros and girls, you know, these two girls are ranked in the top 40 in the world. So if you give them the time and space, you know, they will hit a winner.
Yeah, but you know, it's all well and good they hit a nick at the end of the rally, but you've got to work your way backwards to see how they got the opportunity to hit the nick. I mean, players don't hit nicks off tight balls. You know, it's very hard to hit a nick from the back of the court off a very tight straight length. So, you know, what I would say to all the juniors or other players and coach them is, you know, don't just focus on the last shot. Look back in the rally and see how the point was set up, and invariably you see there was a couple of straight drives, or the players stood up the court, created the pressure. You know, building the pressure all the time in the rally to ultimately get the opportunity to play the shot. So, and again, this is what I talk about with the club level, some of the juniors. They focus on the last shot and they don't look back what happened previously in the rally, where all the work has been done. A lot of the time when moving the player around the court, even if they are positioned well on the tee, it's the angle of the hips can take a lot as well. Turning players quickly, holding the ball, flicking, all that sort of thing. Being aware of where your opponent is when they're behind you, when they're in front. How they're facing. Are they sweeping across, looking to pick off a straight ball? And that's where the likes of the two-wall boast or the flick crosscourt can come in. So again, not just being aware of who your opponent is, but also how they're standing. And the hips have a lot about that.
Ed, you're a big guy, and you've done a lot of weights in your time. So what would you say you can bench press at the moment?
More than you, Jim.
I'd say that's true, Ed. The reason I asked that question is, my next question is, do you think you can hit a backhand drive harder than M.Tomlinson Gillis?
Well, striking the ball doesn't come down to power, it comes down to timing. If you look at boxers, for example, you'd have flyweights who are hitting hard than an 18, 20 stone man. So a lot of these sports, it comes down to timing, technique, that sort of thing. So, for example, if you talk about power, it's the speed of the racket going through the ball, not the grunt or the muscle behind the ball. I know there's a lot of players in my club, Westwood, who are pretty strong men and wouldn't be able to hit the ball half as good as these girls here. It's not power like you have in which you have in a lot of sports. It's timing. Again, look at a golfer's swing. Look at a boxer's punch. That sort of fluidity and timing of movement is what gives the power. As I say in a lot of sports, good technique done quickly is power, not tensing up the muscles and freezing up.
Thank you, Ed.
Power can be measured in a number of ways. One way is, some guy sitting under a bar on the bench press. But in sports like this, it doesn't really matter what you can bench. It's more the core stability, flexibility, mobility that the player have, and how they can get around the court, their lateral movement, their lunges, power in the glutes, the legs, and how they can cope, how the body is conditioned. These guys aren't going to go out in the first game and hit the ball as hard as they can and not last. They will have the strength to carry on through the whole match. And it's a different type of training than the hypertrophy that you're talking about there, Jim.
Millie is playing very solid squash. She's moving her opponent around. She's not giving her any cheap points. She's forcing the error. Sometimes it's an unforced error. And then, of course, if you can play a shot like that, that also helps. So a lovely cross forehand into the semi-nick, but enough for a winner.
Yeah, and she had Nell out of position, so I think Nell would be a bit disappointed she didn't get that shot. But she was out of position from the previous shot that allowed Millie to play it and get away with it.
4-3.
Nice to see Millie not looking for something that wasn't there on that occasion. She knew it was just a let and just gets on with it. This point in the match, Ed, that really is manna from heaven for Millie. Cheap error like that. Second or third shot into the round.
Now they're very frustrated. She didn't do more with that. It was a very loose ball down the middle, and to make an error off it really, again, is unforgivable at a stage like this, especially with the point to Riley scoring. There's a big change. Again, we see there some very good length play down into forehand corner, forcing the post. Again, we see Nell's backhand drop, setting point to get her opponent out of position.
And now 6-5.
So 6-5 in the fourth, Jim. This really could go either way. We've seen this happen quite a bit. The service is quite wide. As you see now, standing quite far up in the court and hit the racket, thank God.
So, just to explain what happened there, Millie Tomlinson, she played the ball off the back wall. She hit Gillis. The ball was on the way to the front wall, and therefore it's a stroke to the English player. Unfortunate there. I don't think Millie will want to win points like that. At the same time, at this stage in the game, she'll take it.
Yeah, but I don't think there was any badness involved. I think she was playing a cross court. I think they'd have enough respect for each other not to look for cheap points like that. Like you said, Jim, obviously they'll take them, but I don't think they look for them. The match has been in very good humour so far. They're going to be very fair.
Mistake from Millie. An example in that rally, though, of the fairness you were talking about, Ed. I mean, both players willing to play the ball, even when it's close to their opponent, knowing that that they can play the ball freely to the front wall and not stopping the rally, which sometimes in matches, it can get a bit scrappy, and it's frustrating for the audience, for the viewers, frustrating for the referee. So, as you say, it's great to see that these two players going at it hammer and tongs, but at the same time being very, very fair. At the same time, though, Ed, I guess, the interaction between the players and the referee sometimes, it does add to the drama. As long as it doesn't get out of hand, perhaps it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, well, we all remember John McEnroe. We remember why we used to love watching him play so often. The characters of the game are great. Yeah, of course it is. We will love to see, as long as it doesn't go too far. But yeah, it adds to it, absolutely. Yeah, it's a stroke there. She no backs from that shot. Last week, Jim, when we were over in Lisbon with under-19s, I was talking to John about it. What we noticed was that there was very much an effort by the referees to make sure the players made every effort to play the ball. Quite frustrating for the players at times, but they really had to make a good effort if they were to earn the opportunity to play the point again in a let. We're going to Helsinki now on Tuesday with the senior team. It'll be interesting to see if that form continues when we're over there. But certainly, there is an effort by referees these days to not allow players get the cheap lets just because they might be tired or they feel the road they let. So, the players really have to earn it. To encourage them to try harder. It can also result in a little more contact. But, I think it's a better way to the game, because so often players look for less by playing the player rather than the actual ball or making an effort to play the ball.
8-all on fourth, Ed. So, we'll come down to the business end of things in this game. I think the crowd will be hoping that this, the neutrals will be hoping that this goes to a fifth, Ed. It's been superb so far, so they will be looking for some more of that. what a rally, Ed. I mean, really, that is just a demonstration of fantastic athleticism, conditioning, fitness, squash skill, and a superb finish at the end from Nele.
Yeah, we spoke at the beginning of the match about the possibility of fatigue setting in, given that one player had a lot more time on court than the other. I don't see any signs really of one player being more tired than the other here. I think the two girls are battling very hard. They're obviously very fit, well conditioned. And if it goes to 5, I think we're going to see a thriller.
And 9-0.
9-0 in the fourth. That's a very loose ball played in by the English girl. You can see she was going for a drifting 2-0, both up too high. The Belgian girl on it straight away to give herself an opportunity to take the game. Return a serve there by the English girl, followed by a loose backhand volley, playing right into Nell's backhand. As we know, she's very strong at the front of the court there. It's a 2-1 in games here.
Can you finish this head and then...
I thought you might know and I wouldn't. As I asked her this.
Well, folks, 2-2 in games here at the Gillen Markets Irish Squash Open 2017 between Millie Tomlinson of England and M.Tomlinson from Belgium. And you know, we've had a real thriller so far, and we're looking forward to a cracking fifth game.
Final game, Gilis to serve, no ball.
No let. Fairness, Millie didn't even ask for it.
Very strong start by the two girls. That was a great drive played. There was no way she was going to get left for that, but she acknowledged herself by not even asking.
Minimal interference.
Was a path to the ball there, Ed, wasn't there?
Yeah, and as I spoke about, it was very obvious in Lisbon last week. It'll be interesting next week in Helsinki if this continues. And I think it's a good thing, really. That possibly would have been a soft let, would have been a bit hard on Millie had a let been given away there. She did try to clear the ball. There wasn't a huge amount of contact going in. And especially at this stage of the game, they work very hard for points.
One of the things that the professionals are good at, Ed, and perhaps to explain it to our viewers, is they're able to straighten the ball from the backcourt. Something that perhaps as you go down standards in squash, the ability to do that is not as great. Can you explain that to the viewers? What does that mean, to straighten the ball?
What we find at club level is a lot of players play the cross-court shot. It's an easier shot to play. You don't have to be as accurate as you're sending the ball over to the other side of the court. And if you're off balance, or it is the easy shot to play. To play a great straight drive, you do limit the options that your opponent has, and therefore it's the most basic shot, but it is the most important shot of the game. To keep the ball straight and to move up ahead, to look attack off the next ball is what you'll see, like especially Nell in this game here so far. She's looking to step up on the backhand, as we've spoken about. Her backhand drop shot and her volley is very strong. By keeping the ball straight, she's limiting the options that her opponent has. And at club level, a lot of players will hit the ball cross court, open up the court, and give their partner an opportunity to do more with the ball. But to do this, the girls would need a lot of balance over the ball, good range to make sure it's in striking distance, and the two go hand in hand. And then, of course, the good technique and the racket speed, to get a bit of pace on the ball and to keep it straight.
And of course, they have that ability when the ball goes to the back wall. Perhaps it's tight, but they have a lot of pace on it. They're able to maneuver the racket, and rather than play a boast around, they can get the ball down the side wall again, thus taking a lot of pressure off themselves.
Yeah, you'll see, especially the men's game. Obviously, the backhand side it's more apparent, with the shoulder being in front, it is harder to play the ball when it goes behind you. You do have to maneuver the wrist and change your stance to get that power. I mean, it's incredible sometimes how the pros from the deep ball in the backhand can even get a cross-court, such as the strength and the timing of them. It can be beforehand, given that the shoulder is behind you and you can step back. On the backhand, it knocks you off balance a bit, so it is a harder shot to play. So you do tend to see more boasts being played from that side.
There again, Ed, so a crucial point, as you say, for a 5 lead for Nelly. That backhand, she really can crack it down that side.
Yeah, I'm surprised Millie isn't playing more to the forehand. Nell is very strong there. We've seen it over again. There she's bouncing on the tee, just looking to attack on the backhand side there. And there we have it again. Super drive on the backhand, stepping up looking for the volley. Yes, Millie got to in time, but was unable to control the ball, giving away a stroke.
Two right backs.
She really is superb, as you say, with that backhand drop. She's hit so many winners in this match with backhand drop.
Yeah, on 2 occasions that rally, Millie went short on the backhand. On other occasions, Nell was able to take advantage of it.
Yes, Dad.
7-2.
7-2, Jim. When we think of in the first game, I think it was 7-2 to Millie. And we weren't sure what sort of match we were going to have.
Yeah, it was 7-2 after about 3 or 4 minutes, Ed.
Yes, Dad.
Yes, sir. 7-2. And that 3-7.
Yes, Dad.
Yes, sir. 3-7.
Millie not happy with the let there, looking for a stroke. What did you think, Ed?
I thought it was a let. I don't blame her looking for a stroke. 7-2 down. 7-3.
Throughout the course of this tournament, we've seen that Millie is very mature in her attitude. She seems to be, mentally very soft. So the next few points will be interesting to see how he handles this. Of course, a situation she's been in many times before.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Millie is going short from the back of the court on the backhand and setting up now with that drop. I'll probably see it again. Really putting herself under pressure every time. And then we see it again. A lot of work done that rally. It's a very hard fought rally. The balance of power has changed a few times, but again we saw Millie going for that short ball in the backhand that isn't really on. And she's getting punished every time she does it.
Lucky bounce there for Nelly. She'll certainly take that at this stage of the match. I know in golfing parlance there's a saying, the more I practice, the luckier I get. In this case, we should point out that there is actually there is a little bit of a gap at the back of the court between the the boards, the floorboards on the side of the wall, and on that occasion the ball just happened to catch that and died in the corner. That's a great shot.
Yeah, she's very dominant on that side of the court now, but just on the last 2 shots she played drive really was rocking it down the side wall, setting herself up for the volley, drawing her opponent in and pushing to the back of the court and catching her into that position, like what we spoke about earlier on. And there we see it.
And a fitting end to the match there, Ed. You know, another one of those beautiful backhand drives from the Belgian girl. But, you know, what a match. What a treat for the audience here today in Fitzwilliam. And both girls should be proud of themselves.
Yeah, they both gave a very good account of themselves. And, you know, when we think of what we were saying after the first game, Jim, I mean, it really was Millie, you know, took the first game, I think, 11-2. And then we saw the first sight of the first potential of Nell coming back when she went 7-1 up in the second. So really was a number of games within the game. And I think the point at the end, match point, really was characteristic of how the match went. The backhand as the Belgian was just very strong from the back of the court and the front of the court.
Yeah, so fantastic ladies final, and next match-up is the Gillen Markets 2017 Irish Open men's final, and that will be contested between Declan James of England and Adrian Waller of England. They're both very close in the world rankings, so something really to look forward to there as well.